And welcome back to the My Wool Mitten podcast, my podcast about knitting, spinning, and most of all about raising sheep on a small farm in the middle of Michigan's Lower Peninsula. My name is Carrie, also known as My Wool Mitten, on Instagram, Ravelry, and here on YouTube. So I'm very glad to be back with you today, just a few days after my last podcast episode, which was episode number 10. And if you haven't found it, you can go and follow the links here, or just go back. It was the last one that I uploaded. It was just a short one, mostly talking about knitting and a little bit about sheep. And I really appreciated the feedback and the comments, and we had several new viewers, and so I appreciate that. I have a feeling it's because of the nice yarn that I talked about. But for whatever reason you're here, whether you're a longtime viewer or a new viewer, or if you're just stopping in to check us out, I appreciate it. I'm glad that you're here. I apologize for the glare on the glasses, but I'm not going to apologize about the beautiful sunshine that's streaming in this window directly across from me. It's a beautiful day here in mid-Michigan, mid-30s, but even if it was colder, just the fact that we've had sunshine for 2 days in a row it just brings new energy, doesn't it? So, as I mentioned, I am back sooner rather than later. It tends to be a few weeks or even a month between podcasts, but this is just going to be a short little episode. And the main reason that I'm here is to tell you about a little upcoming event. I guess I'll call it an event here for the podcast. I've decided that I'm going to record 12 days till Thanksgiving. Today is November 16th. It's 12 days till the Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States, which is one of my very favorite holidays, and it tends to get overlooked. We have Vlogmas, we have Vlogtober, we have Advent, we have the 12 days of Christmas, all kinds of different things. But I really enjoy and appreciate and try to savor Thanksgiving. For one thing, it's the start really of the winter season for us. This year, definitely. As soon as we hit November, we hit cold weather and some snow, and that is my time of the year and my season. I mean, I love fall. I really love fall, but as I get older, winter gets to be my favorite. And so I just want to celebrate this year. And I thought about going no social media for a while, and just pulling in quietly, but we've kind of done that for the last month anyway, prior to the episode number 10 of the podcast. And so I just felt like I wanted to share it with you guys. So what do you think? Do you want to come along with me with 12 days till Thanksgiving? It will be knitting, spinning, sheep, and pretty much that's it. Food, probably some food. A little talk about that and our weather and just day to day here on the farm. You may remember that I started my Walk With Me Till 60 back in January, heading to my 60th birthday, and then some life events, world events, events in our community. I thought it was good to set that aside for a little bit. But so this year, as we end this year and get ready for the next, I really want to take the time to be thankful each of those days leading up. So you guys come along with me and hold me to that task, okay? If you feel like it and if you have time. I'll keep them short. I'll tell you a pet peeve I have. It's not a pet peeve because you just don't have to watch, but there are so many podcasts that do Advent or Vlogtober or vlogs, and then they end up being half an hour or 45-minute daily vlogs, and I don't have time to watch those. And I love so many of the people that do them, but I just don't have time for that much content. So most of these are going to be pretty short. I've recorded some of them already, and we'll put them in on different days and see what you guys think. If nobody watches them, that's okay. It'll just be kind of something to keep myself focused on accomplishing something each day and sharing about something each day. So I'm back in the corner where I recorded the other day, just because that seems to work the best with the light, except for the glare. What can we do about that? Maybe I need tinted glasses or something. I don't think I mentioned before two things. One, this lamp, which is really old. It is from my granny's house. I remember it when I was a little girl. I've seen it in pictures of my mom and her siblings when they were small. And so it's quite old. I think they're called student lamps, maybe. I love the green shade. And this is where I hang knitting needles. I got this little linen needle holder from an Etsy seller a long time ago. I don't think that person still makes, but it keeps my circular needles, except for some really super long assortment here. So it's right here handy. There's a light overhead. There's this light. There's a little light over here on the table you can maybe see some reflection from. But anyway, that's what's here in the background. The green probably doesn't match my old parlor wallpaper, but it's from my granny's house and I feel close to her. We were always admonished to be very careful around it. So I have on my Tencho pullover, which is my sweater from last winter, a barley hat. I've been outside all morning because the sun has just been beautiful. I, excuse me, came in for a cup of soup for lunch and to visit with Bill and eat lunch with him. And now he's watching a football game, and I'm either going to nap or I'm thinking about cleaning some kitchen cupboards. Doesn't that sound like a good pre-Thanksgiving thing to do? It's one of those thankless jobs because no one really knows that they're clean except for you. But maybe that's all that matters, right? I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like doing that. Excuse me for just a minute. Maybe I swallowed a little fuzz. I don't know. But one of the things I wanted to mention to you guys, and I didn't bring it over here with me. I don't know what I was thinking. A lot of wonderful comments and then questions about the new Mitten sweater that I featured in the episode number 10. And I just thought a little fun fact for you guys. That new Mitten sweater, and I'll put a picture in here or maybe at the beginning or when I'm done talking here on my mannequin so you can see it full length. And it is nearly tunic length and half sleeves. That entire sweater weighs 8 ounces. My Tencho pullover, which is about the same length, maybe even a little shorter, 3/4 length sleeves, but this weighs nearly 2 pounds. Now this is a Romney and Border Leicester fairly tightly mill spun yarn compared to the new Mitten, which is a single unspun yarn. And equally as warm, each sweater is warm in its own way. This is maybe more windproof, but the new Mitten sweater is such a wonderful, warm, light layering piece. I recorded a little video from the woods on Thursday. I walked in the woods excuse me, I just hit the tripod. The day before the opening day of firearm deer season here in mid-Michigan. And I recorded some of that, took you guys along with me. But that was a very cold, raw, bitter day. And I wore the new Mitten sweater underneath my jacket with just a light turtleneck underneath. And I was toasty warm without being weighted down or feeling restricted at all because it's just so lightweight. So super, super pleased with that. But I thought you might find that interesting. Also, some of you asked about blocking it. And I guess I forgot to mention that I just kind of lightly misted it and laid it out. I didn't soak it. Caroline, who is the maker of the yarn, if you are a Patreon of hers, you can watch her podcast. And she talks about how careful you should be if you do actually soak it. It's not fragile, but it's almost like handling roving, if you've ever done that, where you just have to really support it. But I didn't feel the need to do that. I just kind of dampened it and let it dry. Another thing I did with both that sweater and this sweater and another hand knit sweater that I have, when we got our first snow, it was just a light dusting of snow, not super wet and heavy. And I laid the sweaters out in the snow. I think I saw Patricia of Knitography do that. Or maybe it was Sophia on the California podcast. Someone anyway that did that. And I thought, what a great idea, because then it freshens it up. gets it a little bit damp, and then bring it in and just kind of let it air dry. So that's two things I thought I would tell you. And I finished the sleeves, both sleeves for my new sweater. Didn't think to bring them over to show you. So we'll share that on another of our 12 days. And I'm happy with them. And now I'm just trying to decide if I actually want to start at the bottom of that sweater and work up, or if I want to cast on just below where the yoke would start and work up. I haven't quite decided. I'm not really feeling like paying that much attention to doing the color work, so I may just start at the bottom and just have some, stockinette stitch to knit on for a while. I am knitting on one other small project, and I'm going to tell you more about that on our last day, on Thanksgiving evening, after the turkey dinner is finished and we're done watching football. I'm going to talk to you about a little small thing that I've been knitting on, and maybe announce something new for the podcast. something that maybe you can share with me about. You can share the journey with me that will in no way impede your Christmas knitting or add to your Christmas stress, but just something new that I'm going to do and I want to share with you. So look forward to that on the 12th day, the Thanksgiving evening. And meet me back here and we'll talk about that. How does that sound? So I've rambled on long enough, and I am kind of sleepy. Might go have a nap before chore time and supper time and check the football score with Bill. So I hope you're doing well. Again, thank you for visiting with me. Thank you for comments of all kinds. I appreciate everyone. Welcome to new viewers. Thank you to returning viewers. And I hope you'll come back and join me for these 12 days. And if you have a podcast, maybe you might want to think about doing the same thing. We need to shorten it though. 12 days till Thanksgiving, that's a lot of typing. TTDT? TDTT. I don't know about that either. Got any ideas for a catchy title for our 12 days countdown till Thanksgiving? Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you again here tomorrow if all goes well. Bye.